Hey y'all. Good morning. How you doing? Let's see here. Give me 1 minute. I think I need some more light. I feel like I have shadows going on. Let's see. Is that any better? Trying to stay out the sun. Hey there. Well, it is Friday, and as I always say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I wanted to talk today about the 4 keys to let mom shame go, and today is the 4th part. So let me run over it quickly. 1, the first way to be free from mom shame is to acknowledge, excuse me, that we're human. The second key is to realize that feeling shame, feeling guilty is totally and completely counterproductive, and it yields no fruit. Good morning, Michelle. The third key to letting mom shame go is to embrace that we can change if there's things that we need to change. And change comes with understanding what we're doing, why we're doing it. And if you want the details for these things, you can check the videos before this. And then 4 is where we are today. So when the accuser comes, whether it's in your own brain, that it's accusing you of things that you did, things that you shouldn't have done, when that voice comes, or when those people come, or even when your children come back and say, Mom, you did this, or Mom, you did that. We talked about this before. It's a great place to just say, you know what? Good morning, Felicia. I was wrong. Please forgive me. Now, how can we move forward? It's always about, okay, I acknowledge that I could have done better with that. I missed that. I'm so sorry for the pain that it caused. Would you please forgive me? And then move on. But when they come and they try to keep you, excuse me, in that cycle, they try to continue to pour guilt on you. They try to, keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up when you're trying to move on. That's shame. And I'm here this morning to remind you that you don't have to accept that. The 4th key is you must learn to walk in freedom. Okay, so here's the truth. Our kids have received good, bad, and ugly from us. And God uses it all. That's the truth. He's done it in our lives, and he's doing it in theirs. Because he knew that any human being that he gave a child to would not be perfect, and they would not get it all right. It's just not possible. And so he's such a wise God that he has the ability to take all things and make them work together for that child's good, especially if that child loves the Lord. And so when the day come, when the thoughts come, when the people come and try to pour the shame on, I need you to remember, all you need to do, key 4, is walk in freedom. Walk in the freedom that God has given you. No, I didn't do everything right as a mom. And I'm not going to be guilty about that because I am a human being and I do make mistakes. But there is a God who's greater than I am, who can take my stuff, the things that I didn't do right, and he can help that child become who they need to become. They need to get the lesson because they're going to run into the same problem. They're going to find out that they're human too. They're going to find out that they can't make all right choices. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. They can't make all the right choices either. And so it's going to be very humbling for them if they have come to you in a way that is very shameful and trying to produce guilt, because it's just not going to be okay because we're not receiving it. And so this is the thing. The good we poured into their lives was for them to model. so that they can, do those same kind of things for people. The bad is for them to remember how it felt when those bad things happened, and to get whole about them, to take responsibility for their own lives, to stop pointing the finger at other people and saying, that's why I do this and that's why I don't do that. It's time they get to the point when they're grown. We have given the best that we could, and now it's their turn and their responsibility for their lives. And we have to remind them of that. If they're coming with things to cause shame or accusations and those kind of things, once we have apologized and acknowledged the pain, once we have said, look, I didn't know then what I was doing. I'm so sorry. Do not let anyone continue to bring condemnation and guilt on you, because that is not our daddy's voice. Because God does not speak to us in that manner. And I used to have to help my kids remember that. Because sometimes, something would come to me when they were grown and, well, what about this? And we didn't think that was right. And you know what? And I fessed up if I needed to, but I had to learn to not walk in condemnation, because I learned that God is not a God of condemnation, and he is not trying to tear me down. If I need to get better at something, he's going to convict me, and then he's going to lead me gently to how to make that thing happen, how to make those changes happen. So the good our children learn from us, they can model in their life as adults. The bad is for them to realize that they need to be healed in those areas, so they can stop pointing fingers at us. Mom, you did this, and mom, you did that. No, the bad is to say, I remember how that felt when dad abandoned us. And I want to make sure I don't allow that to happen to my kids. I remember how it felt to get yelled at or accused of doing things that I didn't do. I remember how it felt to walk into a house and live with an angry mom. So I'm not going to be an angry mom. That's the whole point. And to let the lesson that they had growing up help them to become better. That's what they do with the bad. And then what they do with the ugly that we have maybe allowed or exposed them to in their growing up is they take those things and they go out into the world and they find other people who have gone through those things, and they help them to get through. So if your dad left you when you were 6 and you remember how bad that felt, you take that thing, and then when you're an adult, you become a mentor. And then you go help some other 6-year-old whose dad left them, and you begin to pour into their life. That is the greatest revenge that we can have on the enemy, because he's the one ultimately who allows these things to happen in our lives because he's trying to take us out. And so instead of those things taking us out, we actually have revengeance. We actually allow God to have vengeance on the enemy by taking the very thing that in our childhood he tried to use to take us out, and to turn that thing around and to begin to help others be delivered, be free, to know that they're not alone, to know that if you can make it through and now you're an adult and doing well, that even though it feels like they're not going to make it, that they can make it through. The good, the bad, and the ugly of our parenting is purposeful in that child's life, and they are able to take those things and live their lives without pointing fingers or judgment to their parents. And so we can be at peace knowing that we did the best we could with what we knew, and trusting that God is going to get those children where they need to get to. It's their life. Once they're grown, it's their responsibility. It is no longer ours. And if we don't realize that, we will actually cripple them, because we will continue to do things for them that they should be doing for themselves, because we feel guilty. because we feel shame. And so instead of letting them go get their own job because we feel like, oh, we didn't do this or we didn't do that, we keep giving them money. We allowing them to do things that are not, it's not helping them. But we don't realize the reason why we're doing it is because we feel guilty. And we're trying to make up for something that we've done. But it's okay. God's taking all that stuff and he's mixing it in a pot. And he's making a cake. Think about the ingredients of a cake. If you just tasted each one before the cake was made, some of that stuff is nasty. I don't think you want to eat baking powder. You might not want to eat butter. And I sure don't want to eat flour. But boy, put all that together and throw that thing in the oven. Little sugar comes out and it's great. And that's how their lives are. God can take whatever they've been dealt, whatever they've been given, and he can make something beautiful out of it. But he doesn't want us to live the rest of our lives feeling condemned, feeling guilty. He wants us to move on, because until we do that, till we walk in freedom, key 4, we will miss what we're supposed to be doing in this season. And we'll do the wrong things because we'll do the things that we're doing out of guilt instead of being able to hear his voice about how we should be helping our child now, how we should be praying for them now, and being able to stand sometimes and watch them flounder and watch them fall, because we understand that's a part of the process, and to know that we don't owe them anything else but love. That's all we owe. And so remember that. That's what you owe your child, love. And they can always have as much of it as they need. So, as I move out this morning, I pray you guys have a fantastic day. And I'm going to be talking to you in the future about how we can help as moms each other, and how we can help moms who are struggling with some of the things that I'm talking about and trying to raise a child who is struggling academically. That is my passion, and that is what I will be talking about more, so that as moms we can come together and we can make a difference. We don't have to wait on the government. We don't have to wait on anybody else, the school. We don't have to wait on our church. There are things that we as moms can come together and do to make a difference in the lives of each of our children. Have a fantastic day. I think I said I'm Anita Gibson. I don't remember if I did. If I didn't, that's who I am. I am a coach, speaker, educational strategist, and I pray you have a fantastic day. Love you.